This is a reading of Brenda's blog titled Adding, Not Subtracting, posted October 26th, 2020. Dear ones, even though you're quite used to wearing unique clothes or making certain statements, your uniqueness will feel unusual because it is generated from an inner need instead of a social statement. You've been most comfortable in groups with thoughts similar to yours, but soon you will not necessarily attach yourself to any group. Instead, you will be yourself in thought and action, often contrary to what you have come to expect of yourself or others. Will you be antisocial? Most likely for a bit, as you shake off the thoughts and directives of others. Perhaps that last concept is uncomfortable, for throughout your earth lives, you have likely been part of a group even if you are not in physical proximity. In early Earth days, people began living in communities for survival. Because of that benefit, humans adjusted to rules. It seemed like an equal trade. You were amongst others who would help feed and protect you, as well as provide social entertainment. In return, you followed the social order of the day. Between Earth lives, you ventured into areas you wished to explore without rules or regulations. You could not and would not interfere with nor harm others, so there was no need for a formal social order. You are returning to that freedom with which you are most familiar. It was only while of the earth that you had rules designed by the strongest or largest grouping among you. Even though you're returning to your freedom, doing so will be confusing at first. You'll wonder why you feel the need to do this or that when everything you have learned while of the earth tells you doing so will be counterproductive socially. A concept that is fearful for some, if not all. Not because freedom is terrible, but because it is such a foreign thought for any earthling. You have arrived at the point of not following groupthink. Never before while of the earth have you anticipated striking out on your own in thought or action. For you are a member of several earth groupings that, until now, were your emotional lifeblood. Even though COVID-19 time helped you distance from a number of those groups, you envision returning to similar groups once the freedom to do so returns. But when this COVID time is over, you will not be interested in most areas in which you felt comfort or security. You will journey out on your own with new thoughts and actions. You no longer need others to project or protect your rightness, for you are becoming a self-contained entity. More to the point, you are returning to your universal self-contained being. Perhaps you wonder how lonely such an adventuresome life will be. We project that you will feel deliciously secure and joyful. For many of your fears are related to how this or that action will affect your group thought. You will discover new freedoms to explore issues of interest to you without explaining why you wish to do so, or worry that by doing so those you love will abandon you. Universal life is about exploring thoughts, creations, frequencies, dimensions, and anything else of interest. For your only universal role is exploring that which is of interest to you. For eons, that exploration was Earth groupthink and fear. Such is over, and is not being replaced with another group action. Instead, you are to be of the universes, while of the earth. You will also accept others' uniqueness, for you will know they are exploring because they want to, not because they have to, as has been an earth truth for eons. New creations and ideas, based on individual needs instead of a group cohesiveness. Many of you worry such uniqueness will tear your world to shreds. Instead, you're no longer encased in a box of social rightness. You are free to flit from one interest area to another. Social groupings from now on will be temporary, but no less heartwarming. This outline of your near future does not mean you will live in isolation. You will merely expand your horizons. Instead of a few groupings, you will become a member of hundreds or thousands as you and your cohorts' interests shift. You are creating a new social order, one of much greater flexibility and knowledge. For the key to any universal experience is sharing and experiencing knowledge. You have explored fear completely. Now it is time to explore joy through expansion. You are not subtracting from your totality or interactions. You will add to them in quantity and experience. The difference between a caterpillar and a butterfly. We are describing this shift because you might feel a bit frightened about your universal interests as you initiate your new life in a new world. So be it. Amen.